All right, good evening. I'll now call the meeting to order. This is October 21st, and it's our regular council meeting. First up is confirmation of quorum. Do we have confirmation of quorum, Ms. CAO?
Yes, we do not.
Okay.
Yes,
Next, oh, yes, good job. Next, we have declaration of conflicts of interest. Does anybody have any conflicts to declare on tonight's agenda? Okay. So next, we have adoption of the agenda. Do I have a mover to adopt the agenda in its current form? Moved by Councillor Esty. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Savoie. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the agenda in its current form, show your consent by saying yes. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. So next we have adoption of minutes. These are the minutes from the September 16th meeting. Do I have a mover to adopt the minutes in their current form?
I'll move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Jean Gras. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Savoie. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the minutes from the September 16th regular meeting, show your consent by saying yes. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Next, we have questions from the public. Do we have any submitted questions, CAO Downey?
We do not. However, I just, Madam Mayor, if I'm just going to pop my head in, I just heard somebody's voice back here.
Okay, sure.
It's Councillor Martin.
Oh, okay.
Not Martin.
Not even seven.
Okay.
Burry.
Okay, so petition, request, or delegation. Do we have any items for that topic this evening?
I do not, Madam Mayor.
Okay, so we'll go to the council member reports. First on the list, Deputy Mayor David Jongra.
Okay. So I just want to add that I had recently, oh geez, should I turn this on?
Sorry, yes, you should. My bad. There you go.
So I've recently discussed some safety issues of high school children in Ward 1 attending Harrison Trimble High School, and I raised these issues at a public safety meeting hosted by Public Safety Minister Robert Gauvin. And I want to thank the mayor for recently writing a letter on behalf of those students and parents, reiterating those concerns and asking for an update. At a recent UMNB meeting, I had also the opportunity to speak to an official at Social Development, and while she could not share details, she did say that the facility mentioned in the letter is of concern to them, especially given that the project was initiated during the COVID pandemic to respond to the realities of that time, which are no longer valid. So I will keep my residents informed of any developments. And again, I want to thank the mayor for recognizing the situation and seeking an update from the province.
You're most welcome. And thank you to the services manager for toning down the background noise. Next up, we have Councillor Mark Esty.
Report.
No report? Okay. Okay, no report. So next we have Councillor Martin. Go ahead.
Right on. Okay. I'm going to keep everything on the positive note, what's going on in the area. So first and foremost, I'd like to let everyone know that there's a group putting together the Halloween trail again for the community and all the kids. That'll be taking place right on the property here at Maple Hills. It seems to be growing each and every year. Kids seem to love it, so come on out with your families. Secondly, word is now out. We are going to be doing the Christmas lights here on the property, which has been a staple in the relative community. The owner and the person that has been displaying them for actually 43 years has agreed to bring them out, put them on the property in a safe location to allow residents to enjoy them and take part in them. So we're working with volunteers and the owners that created them to bring this out to the community. Third, the trail committee, as well as Britland Enterprises and myself have been working on the trails and behind here, making tremendous leaps in not only reclaiming what we have, but creating a few more. The way it's coming, it's quite inspirational to kind of say the least, what we have there. Once you go walk through it, right now we've cleared just over 2 kilometers worth of walking trails that are through, and there'll be work from there. Third, hearing from a lot of residents talking about the parking lot and the project that we took on to pave the parking lot and bring it up to standards, and what can be done with that. Different things people have brought forward. There's a group that does car shows, etc. Different things like this, even ball hockey in the summertime with the kids, different spots. So a lot of different ideas. I think it's going to be a positive outcome for the future of the site. So other than that, that's all I got going for right now.
Thank you, Councillor Martin. Okay, I will go to Councillor Savoie.
Good evening. I'm not going to, I submitted my report via email. I'm not going to read the whole report. Just want to outline some of the things that were discussed at the UMNB AGM. Mayor and CEO Downey and I all had the opportunity to sit down with members of the RICMP, forget what unit they were. I think they were just a Fredericton detachment. But they just, it was a very interesting conversation. They let us know that for the whole province, there is 11 traffic units that's dispersed throughout the whole province at any given time. It means that there's probably no more than 4 units working for traffic enforcement. So one of the ministers that we can or should apply pressure to, or I'm searching my words, advocate to, would be Minister Gauvin for public safety. I think we would gain by having him come to council one day and us telling him what we expect as far as a rural community, the level of service that we need to provide for our residents. That's all I'll read from my report at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Murray.
Sorry for my tiredness there. I was just going to mention a couple of different events going around this and the upcoming weeks. And once again, if you're going to be trick-or-treating, try to just stay in well-lit areas, all that other good stuff. But there is going to be a haunted house at the Irishtown Community Centre that a lot of people enjoy every year. So make sure to get out and do that. And that'll be it for my report.
Thank you. Okay, so the next item is my report. So I just want to start off by thanking the vendors that came to our Connect Fair this past weekend here in Maple Hills, Moncton Kia Center. It was a decent turnout. Probably we're hopeful that it'll get bigger as the years go on, but it was a good sized turnout. I also just made a list of a couple of things of note that residents might be interested in that came from our UMMB conference. There were some motions passed that was, excuse me, that the members feel that the union should advocate for. One of them was the acceleration of creation and funding for childcare spaces. Another was addressing bottlenecks in the healthcare system whereby residents are tying up beds that they maybe necessarily wouldn't be tying up if there were the appropriate places for them to be. Advocating for items in the Federation of Canadian Municipalities rural reports. Sorry, that wasn't very clear. We want the union to adopt the report and push for advocacy for the items in the report. Those items included, but were not limited to, digital connectivity, which is cell and internet signal and service, community safety and bail reform, and climate change mitigation, which included wildfire mitigation. They also advocated for our CMP contract management so that the union could have a seat at the table so that we do not get in a position where we're surprised by what's coming. And an HST revenue share program with the province, which would be another source of revenue for municipal government and allow us to rely less on property taxes. So there were a few other motions, but those probably strike the most of accord with our residents because those are things that we hear them asking us about. So I just thought I'd let you know that our union is actively advocating for those things. Okay, so the next item is bylaws, motions, resolutions, and administrative tools. And the first item is appointment of officer. CAO Downey, did you want to give a little bit of a background, just because we
Sure.
changed directions, I guess, from a previous meeting?
Okay, so at the committee of the whole meeting, it was presented to change up the appointment of officers. I've presented based on council's direction. I have a motion here to present for the appointment of a assistant clerk. This is a requirement of the act to have a clerk. And then in the absence of a clerk, an assistant clerk has all the powers and duties of the clerk in their absence. So if there's a meeting that council wishes, and I am not able to as the clerk, then we have the assistant clerk as a backup. Most local governments, I don't know anybody that doesn't have this already in place. And it's there in the act that we're able to do this. So I have a motion to appoint our employee Nadia Roussel as the assistant clerk for Maple Hills.
Do we have any questions on this motion? Okay. Councilor Martin?
In previous discussion on this, it was brought up about bringing the position to full-on clerk. In reading over the job application and all that for this, the job application specifically states clerk full-time, not assistant clerk. So I'm wondering, where she applied for the position of clerk, not assistant clerk, does that create any issues?
I wouldn't say that it would create issues. My recommendation as a CAO would be to appoint her as the clerk. However, the motion that's presented here, council makes the motion for the appointments. So there's a motion here for assistant clerk. It's up to council to present a motion otherwise.
Okay.
But you are correct. The position that the candidate was hired for is for the position of clerk.
Okay. In going over this and having some time to think about it, reading over the entire job application itself, and understanding that the candidate's previous history, which was outlined within the capabilities applying for this, the differences between the assistant clerk to a clerk, do you feel as a CAO that there's the necessity to just have an assistant clerk for the time being? Or is it more beneficial to have an actual clerk?
So I'm just going to stop this right here. We actually got into this conversation in a previous meeting and determined that because it involves employment and a staff member, that it probably shouldn't be discussed in a public meeting. So do we want to move this topic to the closed session, and should we decide to proceed one way or another, we can go back to open session? I don't want to violate anybody's
Nope.
privacy
No, that's
or
fair.
labor law or,
So it probably would be my recommendation. We already have a labor and employment matter to discuss in closed session.
Okay.
So whereas that's been published on our agenda, we could go in closed session. Of course, at any time, you guys could add something to the agenda as long as everybody, it's a unanimous decision.
well, I think we towed this line enough the last time we had a conversation about this topic, so I think I'd prefer that we had the conversation in closed session. If we decide to proceed with the motion, for those watching on the live stream, you can stay on and we will go back to open session when we are finished so that we can move the motion one way or another if we choose to. But yeah, I think because this discusses a position and employment, that we probably shouldn't discuss this further in a
Okay.
public meeting.
Okay, so are we,
Let's move this topic to tonight's closed session under
Okay.
labor. And should we decide that we are going to proceed with a motion, we can,
We need a vote for that, though.
We need a motion to move.
We need a motion.
okay, that's fair. Can I have a mover that would like to remove this item from open session to closed session for this evening's meeting? Moved by Councilor Martin,
Yeah, I'll second.
seconded by by Deputy Mayor Jean Gras. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of moving the item of assistant clerk to closed session, show your consent by saying yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay. So we'll get through these next two topics and then we'll go back to that. Okay, so the next topic is grants. We discussed the grants at the previous committee of the whole meeting. Do I have a mover to move on, let's say the first grant for A&A Auto? Moved by Councillor Savoy, so you're gonna,
Be it resolved that council grants the following grant for fall 2025 as per grant policy P07, an amount of $250 will be given to A&A Auto, San Philip Road for their annual trunk or treat event.
do I have a seconder on this motion? Seconded by Councillor Murray. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of awarding the grant to A&A Auto for Trick or Trunk event, show your consent by saying yes. Yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, so the next one is a $500 grant for MDR Consulting for Earth Day, Community Day cleanup. Do I have a mover for this one? Moved by Councillor Murray. Go ahead.
Be it resolved that council grants the following grants for fall for 2025 as per the grant policy P07. An amount of $500 will be given to MDR Consulting Inc. for Earth Day Community Day Cleanup. Community Cleanup Day.
Okay, do I have a seconder on this motion? Seconded by Councillor Martin. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the grant for Earth Day Community Cleanup Day, show your consent by saying yes. Yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, so the next topic is bylaw enforcement. As you all recall, CAO Downey let us know that we no longer have this service provided for dangerous and unsightly premise by the province as we have had. It was a little unexpected, but Maritime Enforcement has agreed to take over the service for us starting November 1st until the end of the year, and then honor the contract that they offered us for next year. So do we have a mover on the first item, which is the service from November 1st to December 31st? Moved by Councillor Murray.
Whereas the responsibility for managing dangerous or unsightly premises was to be transitioned from the Minister of Local Government to the rural community of Maple Hills as part of the local governance reform. And whereas under the Local Governance Act, SMB 2017, C18, Section 72, states a council may appoint a bylaw enforcement officer for the local government and may determine their terms of office. Be it resolved that the rural community of Maple Hills accepts the proposal for maritime enforcement services in response to the request for patrol, intervention, and enforcement services by officers responsible for municipal bylaw enforcement, and approve the option of 8 hours per week at a cost of $5,010.75 plus HST, with the services to commence on November 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder on this motion? Seconded by Councillor Esty. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of adopting the motion to have maritime enforcement from November 1st to December 31st for dangerous and unsightly premise, show your consent by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay,
Can I just get a clarification on the next one?
sure.
So it says to approve option of 8 hours per week at a cost of 28 plus HSD with services to commence on January 1st. Is there an end date? Is the 28,000 per month, per year? So I just want to get clarification on that.
Okay, so that's a good point, Deputy Mayor. It is for a one-year term contract, so if that is not stated in the motion, whomever is going to pass the motion will just include that. Okay. So it would say 8 hours per week at an annual cost of $28,245 plus HST, with services to commence on January 1st for a one-year term.
Okay.
Thank you for addressing that.
Yes, thank you for asking that question. Okay, so do we have a mover who would like to proceed with this motion? Oh, Councillor Murray?
He likes to read.
Apparently. I'm late. I get to read everything today. That's the new deal, by the way. Whereas the responsibility for managing dangerous or unsightly premise was to be transitioned from the Minister of Local Government to the rural community of Maple Hills as part of the local governance reform. And whereas under the Local Governance Act SMB 2017, C18, Section 72 states the council may appoint bylaw enforcement officers for the local government and may determine their terms of office. Be it resolved that the rural community of Maple Hills accepts the proposal for maritime enforcement services in response to the request for patrol, intervention, and enforcement services by officers responsible for municipal bylaw enforcement, and approve the option of 8 hours per week at an annual cost of $28,245 plus HST, with the services to commence on January 1st, 2026 for a one-year term.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have a seconder on this motion? Seconded by Councillor Esty. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of proceeding with the maritime bylaw enforcement for the 2026 calendar year, show your consent by saying yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Okay, so the next item is unfinished business. We don't have anything under that, correct?
Nothing.
Okay. So it would now take a motion to enter closed session. Do I have a mover to enter closed session? Moved by Councillor Esty, second. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Jean Gras. Are we ready for the question? We'll now proceed with the vote. All those in favor of moving to closed session, show your consent by saying yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried.
So here's an odd question. Does she have to be assistant clerk?
Are we off?